Today's lesson we're going to talk about a two-move checkmate using the bishops, and the theme is using the force. And when we talk about a force move, basically what we're going to do is we're going to put the king in check, which is going to force that king to move into a position where it doesn't want to move to. It's going to be the only option available to the king, whereas then he's going to move into that square, and then the second move we're going to deliver that checkmate. So let's get into this lesson. The first thing we're going to need to do is evaluate the board. Now this lesson is designed for beginners and novice level students. True beginners can sit in and hear the lesson, but it's designed for beginners and novice level students. Please feel free to use it at your disposal, especially if you have students that are returning chess club students. They're going to want to know this stuff. Okay? Now, let's evaluate the board. I've set up the board, and you just go ahead and start evaluating it. Okay, we're going to place checkmate on the chocolate king. Let the children know what the objective is. We're going to place the checkmate on chocolate king. Lemonade's going to move first. Just by saying that alone, you've gotten the novice level students to start thinking ahead. And when you get the novice students start thinking ahead, they're not going to be talking to each other. So now they're concentrating. You've already established your precedence on your main objective on chess. Okay. For the beginning students, they're going to be listening to you, and true beginners, they're going to be listening to you. They might not be trying to think ahead. They're going to be like, okay, what is he going to teach? So they're going to be a different level. Obviously, intermediate students will have already figured this out, and this lesson is not for them. But if you're not teaching 8th through 12th grade, don't worry about this lesson per se. So now let's look at lemonade and chocolate's pieces. The first thing is we know that we're going to get a checkmate on chocolate. So let's kind of see where his options are. Well, he's not going to be able to move to c5 because kings can't be next to each other. And I'm just going to go ahead and move him around in a wheel. Now go ahead, and obviously I'm showing all of the students each square where in which he could move to. He's not going to be able to capture. Kings can't be next to each other. He can't move to a6. Kings can't be next to each other. He's not going to be able to move to a7 because of the pawn on b6. He's actually attacking that square, placing that king in check. So we know he's not going to be able to move there. He can move to a8, pretty good move. And he can move to b8, pretty good move. He's safe at those squares. Now he's going to try to move to coordinate c8, but he's not going to be able to move to c8. And notice that the pawn at d7 is attacking the square on c8. So he won't be able to move there. Let's move him back. He's not going to be able to move to c7 as well because we have a pawn in this position attacking the king. So we kind of have that figured out. Now, if we were to evaluate a couple of other pieces, we were talking about this pawn, but notice how strategically placed this pawn is. We have a lot of, a lot of chess players tend to think, especially beginning chess players and true beginners, even some novice chess players will think, pawns are not valuable. If you capture a pawn, they're only worth 1 point. Nothing could be further than the truth, because these pawns increase in value as they get closer and closer to the other side of the board. And we've already covered this. It's because of pawn promotion. If that pawn gets to the other side, he's able to promote to any one of 4 pieces that he chooses: knight, bishop, rook, or queen. Now, obviously, we can see the pawn's about to promote, that the rook is stopping him from promotion. So that's going to be key. Now, the other 2 pieces that we need to evaluate are the bishop on e7. He's attacking all of these diagonal squares. Notice that I am pointing out the squares, their attack movements, so that I'm helping beginners, especially true beginners, to start kind of analyzing or thinking in terms of concrete ideas. So I'm pointing out the lines because they're going to be confused, especially if you have kindergartners, 1st and 2nd graders. They're not going to see this, so you have to point them out. Now, we also have a bishop over here at g4. Look at the lines he's attacking. And he's protecting the pawn at d7. Now, we know that we have a chocolate king over here. Our main objective, and again, you need to say this before you make a move, is to get checkmate against your opponent. So You don't want to capture more points than your opponent. You want to deliver checkmate to your opponent. So in this example, Lemonade can deliver a check by moving the Lemonade bishop to coordinate F3. Now we can see that diagonal cut gives us a big clue as to how it moves, and diagonally forwards and backwards. We can see he's still attacking these diagonal white squares. But he's also attacking all of these squares along the longest line, or the fianchetto line. Fianchetto is an Italian word. It just means the longest line in chess, basically. We've got two fianchetto lines. One is from A8 to H1. The other one's from H8 to A1. Okay, so, but the more important line right here is we're attacking the king. Whenever we're attacking our opponent's king, we must say check. Now, check simply means I am attacking your king directly. You have one turn to figure out how to get him out safely out of danger. If you're unable to figure out how to get him out of danger, I will win this game. And so now, when children understand that, they'll understand what check is. They'll understand the priority of check. So let's kind of see how this king could get out of danger. Well, he's not going to be able to move to A7. Well, let's just start right over here. He's not going to be able to move here. Kings can't be next to each other, and he's in check by the bishop line. He's not going to be able to capture. Kings can't be next to each other, nor will he be able to move to A6 because of that second rule of chess. Kings can't be next to each other. Can't move to A7. He's being attacked. He won't be able to move to A8 because he's still being attacked by that bishop, that long line fianchetto, attacked by the bishop on F3. He will be able to move to the only square that's available, which is B7. Now, some of you guys might think, oh, he might be able to move to C8. Well, there's a problem with C8. Earlier, we talked about analyzing the board. We have our pawn over here at D7, which is attacking this square, so he's not going to be able to move to C8. And again, nor will he be able to move to C7 because we've got this pawn attacking the square. So the only square he can move to is coordinate B8. Now, there's one move for checkmate. Now, notice that this is a forced move. He might want to move this guy to capture, but that's not going to happen because he's forced to move. We have to address that check, and getting him out of danger gets to extend this game. Now it's going to be Lemonade's turn to move. A lot of beginning and novice students make this mistake. Instead of knowing what the priority is, and our priority is getting checkmate on our opponent, they will say, oh my gosh, I've got a great opportunity to capture a 5-point rook and win this game. So they're going to go ahead and capture that 5-point rook, but there's a problem here. This game is going to end in a stalemate or a tie game, and the reason why is because it's Chocolate's turn to move, and there is no place he can move to. But the Chocolate King is not in check. He's not being attacked by any other pieces. So it's important for you guys to see that. He's not attacked. He's going to try to get out. If he tries to move over here, well, he's in check. Illegal move. He's in double check. Check by the bishop. Check by the pawn. Can't move there. Tries to move here. Fianchetto line by the bishop. He's got to move back. Tries to move here. Check by the pawn. Can't do that. The fianchetto line. Illegal move. Can't move here. This game's going to end in a tie, and both players are going to end up winning this game. It's going to be a very tragic result for Lemonade if they didn't spend a little bit more time thinking on one move for checkmate. And that one move is, instead of capturing this rook, we move right over here instead. We don't worry about that rook. We just move him diagonally to D6. And we can see, again, he's attacking these diagonal lines, but he's attacking that king directly. Again, these bishops like working together. And we can see we have that direct line of check, and this is actually going to be checkmate. You can't move here, and you can see it on this example. Now, when we go to your puzzles over here, what you're going to be doing is walking the students through an example of getting the Chocolate King and checkmate, and they're going to take turns. So you're going to have this person on this side go ahead and checkmate the king, and then they're going to switch sides. Okay, so basically, you're going to say, okay, for Lemonade, figure out how we can get that king in check. So they're going to look on the board and figure it out. Check. Okay? And now you're playing as Chocolate. figure out where we can move the chocolate king. He's going to figure it out. Now, Lemonade, figure out what the best move is to deliver checkmate. Give him about 10 seconds to figure it out. Right over there. Okay, and then again, you're going to have them switch sides, and that hands-on activity is going to go a long way to translating that lesson into different types of memory patterns and spatial recognition. Well, thanks for watching.